Good.
It's working. Hey, will you guys say yes if you can hear me and see me, please? Oh, my husband can. All right, someone just give me a thumbs up or say yes if you can see you and hear you. Yay, Shaminda. Thank you guys. Okay, I don't know. It was just like spinning and not doing anything. We got it working. So awesome. Well, I'm so happy to be here with you guys. And oh, there's my dog. Yeah, lots of people in here. So I got to say hi to some of you. Who did I say hi to yet? Jaminda. Oh, and congrats on getting into Chicago to you. Brittany got in Chicago too. She's here. Anyone else running Chicago that heard? I know there's some heartache there of people who did not get in. Of my athletes, it was kind of, I think, 50-50, or I think maybe 3 got in and 4 did not. I think there was about 7 who applied. So I will be there, and I know it's a ways off, but definitely that's something that I want to have a like shakeout run for a group. So obviously that will be something that we talk about in the future. Just while we're kind of waiting for other people to hop in here, what races do you guys have in December? Is anyone else running a big race coming up for 2023? I have one more athlete, I would say, running a big A race this weekend, Rocket City. That's Anthony. If he happens to be here, best of luck to you. He's super ready. Other than that, I think it's more just people running kind of fun holiday races, park runs and things like that. Yeah, Melissa, you should have registered for Chicago next year. There's always other opportunities. So we have January, half in January, Tokyo in March. Tokyo, that will be so awesome. CIM. Oh, Michael, how did CIM go? Let me know. Had 2 athletes on my team run CIM. They both had amazing races, and I know both of them were really freaking out all week about it raining and everything. And obviously that didn't happen. It looked like it ended up being beautiful weather. And honestly, that was the same experience that I had last year as well, of like thinking it was going to rain, and it ended up just being, yeah, the weather could not have been better. Not running Chicago. Sorry, Matt. I know it's such a bummer. Luckily there's lots of other great races. Yeah. And honestly, I would say like Twin Cities, one of my favorite marathons. It's just beautiful there. That time of year. That's a good fall one that you could definitely get into. And CIM is just awesome. Can't say enough great things about that race. Yes, Allison, hi. Allison ran Twin Cities too this year, and I think you live there, right, Allison? But yeah, great race. All right, guys. So thanks for being here. And I just want to say to all of you, I so appreciate your support. Not only subscribing to the YouTube channel, which is one thing, but truly just watching the videos, and glad to hear from people that they are helping you on your journey with your running. Number one, and obviously I talk a lot about marathons specifically. One, it's a distance that I hold really close to my heart, but also just the amount of training and dedication that it requires is why I talk a lot about marathons. I've actually had people say, oh, I wish you talk about the half marathon more. And yeah, it's hard. I wish I could talk about all the things. Ultimately, it's kind of like looking back for myself. It was like, yeah, I could tackle the half marathon and under, but it was the marathon that it was just like I got very overwhelmed and just didn't know what I was doing way back when. And so it's just something that I personally like to share a lot about and teach a lot about. So and I started this YouTube running coach journey, I guess I should say, and January of 2021. I had a blog before that. So that's really kind of what started things. When I started the blog, there was not an intention of becoming a running coach at the time. I'll talk a little bit more about kind of getting into that. But then got my coaching certification and ended up being accepted into this YouTube group, which really, had I not been accepted, I don't know where I would have gone from there, because it was really just kind of the push that I needed. And with other group members kind of at the same point as me, starting point. And yeah, you got to work through a lot during that time of just continuing on and believing that it's going to work, because it's crickets for a very long time. You're putting out content and no one's watching. So anyone who's been here kind of since those early 2021 days, thank you. And for anyone even now, but especially that year, that said things like, please keep going, please keep doing what you're doing, it's helping me. Like, it mattered to me big time to continue on, just knowing that it was helping people, because sometimes you just wonder in those months. So December, the day I ran CIM last year, end of 2021, I hit 1,000 subscribers that day, literally walking to the buses to get on the bus for the race. I was with my friend Renee, and I was just absolutely ecstatic. And if anyone knows anything about YouTube, like, that's how you get monetized, which you make hardly any money, even like early on like that. But it's still a very, very big deal to hit 1,000 subscribers. And then, so now 1 year later, I just hit 5,000 like a day or two before CIM. Yeah, last week. So it was just kind of cool. And I have this goal setting video that I put out, I think in end of December, January. And I said my goal was to hit 5,000 subscribers. And when you guys think about goal setting for next year with your races or whatever it might be, yes, it's like have that number, have that lofty goal. You can have a time limit on it, but also like be flexible in that time limit. But you've got to really think about, what is your process to get there, right? Like, you can have a big goal, but like, if you don't change anything or really think about what you're going to do to make that happen, then it's not going to happen. And so my thing was like, honestly, 5,000 subscribers was an arbitrary number, and it sounds nice, right? It seemed possible. It actually also seemed impossible at that time. But honestly, it was just like, I got to just keep showing up, just keep putting out content and see what happens. Like, keep trying to improve the content, make it worthwhile for people that they want to watch, that it's actually going to help them, in their running journey. And so that's what I did. And so thank you guys for the support. It means so much to me. And 5,000 seems like when I think about it, really pales in comparison to some of these other channels that I'm sure you guys watch, and hundreds of thousands, but it's literally just 5,000 subscribers has changed my life in the course of this year, to truly like a life that I love. And pinch me moments, honestly, like talking to athletes, like, this is what I do for a living. And I know that you guys are here for and watch me for the running content. I'm going to talk a little bit more about kind of following your dream, believing in yourself. But I also really think that, what you are able to do and think about and focus on with your running and going after a big goal and being brave, like that translates to other aspects of your life. And for me, that's this. So hopefully you guys can find some value in that. But before I get into any of that, let's talk quickly about these giveaways. Here, let me look through your comments really quickly. Michael's running his 19th marathon. Just ran his 19th marathon, 5 Bostons. That's amazing. Matthew ran your first marathon in October. Congratulations. Thank you for the kind words. I'm so glad it's helpful. I think in the early days, it was kind of like, that was a thing. Like, okay, if I'm even helping one person, like, just keep doing this. Sarah, 5,000 more than half the size of my hometown. Yes, it is. It's a lot of people. It's still a lot of people. Jane, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Germson. Appreciate that. Perseverance, 100%. And it's like, yes, I'm thinking about the running journey, the marathon, entrepreneurship, like whatever it is, right? Like it is all about perseverance. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Germson. I know I said US based address. So, all right. So for the giveaway, we're going to do one here on the live. So this is for a pair of Tifosi sunglasses. And yes, you have to have a US address. I also am saying for this one, you can't know me in real life. I should say, like, you knew me before YouTube kind of thing, friend or family. If you're someone that I coach, that's fine. You can definitely win. I'm pretty sure you found me through YouTube. So obviously you're a huge supporter of the channel. So this is for a up to $30 pair of sunglasses. I'm going to do like a trivia question here in a little while. But these are mine. Yeah, and they have different styles, but up to $30. So I'll let you guys choose. And if you end up winning, I'll have you in the description. There will be my email, and you can just email me and give me your details, and I will let you choose. So really quick on the sunglasses thing, the reason I chose these sunglasses to give away versus Gooder or Knockaround, which I have those pairs too, and I really like those sunglasses, but they scratch up like crazy. And these don't, I've had these, I think, for, I don't know, all through the summer and everything. And I am terrible with my sunglasses. Like I throw them everywhere. I throw them in my purse. They're probably next to my keys and whatever. You can see they don't have any scratches on them. So that's why I am supporting that company. I love the fact that they don't scratch. So yeah, I do love Gooder sunglasses. They're super fun and cute and everything, but that's why I'm giving those away specifically. And then for the separate giveaway, that's going to be within anyone who watches this replay within 24 hours can enter. So there's going to be an email for you to go to put in your email address. And that's how I'm going to pick the winner. So it'll just be completely random. But listen in, because this is the other part of it. So you also have to put a comment within the underneath. So not necessarily on the chat side here, but a comment how you would normally comment on YouTube. So you've got to put a comment there, and then you're going to have to put in the email address. So it's like 2 parts. And that's so that you like actually have to watch some of this and know that part. So you guys are all here, so you already heard it. Okay. So again, I'll say that again. So for the other giveaway, oh, and I should say what it is. So that's for Shocks headphones. Does anyone already have these? And if you do, I'm like, you know what? So they make a really, really good gift. Or if you have other headphones, I think you would find you really love these. And they're really great for extra safety when you're out running. Just whether you're someone who just wants to be very aware of your surroundings, if someone's near you, like they're open ear, so you can hear that, as well as just traffic crossing streets. It's really good for that. So the other reason that I ended up with these and it wasn't really for that reason. I could not find headphones that would stay in my ear, like terrible, like through 20-mile long runs, I'd be messing with headphones. And actually I will say I recently got AirPods, and those regular AirPods, I think they're like the generation 2. Those also work great for me. So, you guys are looking for headphones that stay in your ears, perhaps those will work for you. But yeah, these just like fit around, and they look really dumb when your hair is down, when your hair is up, and then they go around your ears like that. So they're bone conduction. So I will say it one more time. So to win those, that's going to be after this. Within 24 hours, you just have to comment underneath this video. Let's say, it honestly doesn't matter what you comment, but you can comment to me maybe a goal that you have coming up for 2023. It could be running related. It could be not running related, just a goal that you have for yourself. Otherwise, you can comment whatever. You just have to have a comment. And then you're going to have to enter through the link that will have your email address. So if you guys have any questions, them over there. Nicole, yes, the battery life is amazing. Definitely safer. You can hear them when bikes are coming. 100%. It's like if you have headphones in your ears and like someone's like on your left, you're not hearing that, right? So all those things, love them. Um, Someone said yes, the glasses do scratch around gooder. Yeah, they're pretty awesome though. Okay, so questions about any of that? You have to have a US address. Um, you can be anyone. Like you can be someone I know. If you enter, it's because it's just going to be completely a random drawing. I think I'll probably do like a post a YouTube short so you guys can see me do it, and we'll go from there. So I'll have your email address. So then I'll just reach out to that person. M. Sanders, my upcoming goal would be to complete a marathon. Awesome. You can absolutely do that. Anyone who is in good health, can complete a marathon. So it's just a matter of will and doing the right training and all of that. Okay, so we'll do the giveaway here coming up in a little bit. I want to answer someone's question, and I'm sorry I forgot to write down who it was that asked it, but in a post that I had prior to this, he or she asked, do I consider, and if you're here and you're the one who answered or asked this question, let me know. They asked me, do I consider running a marathon one of my greatest lifetime achievements since it is such a difficult feat? And I thought it was just a really thought-provoking question. And what I kind of decided or thought about was that athletically, yes, 100% yes. And when I think about like first marathon versus more recent marathons, I actually would say like my more recent marathons were greater achievements than finishing the first one. It even though like the first one was extremely difficult, it took a lot. I was so proud of myself, like overcoming in my mind for the more recent ones. I think I gave up in my mind way too early on those first couple, and so I think more now, not necessarily because they were faster, more because of how I handled it in the situation at the time. Yeah, CIM and Boston, honestly. And, CIM was my PR and a little bit faster, but Boston was actually more difficult and took a lot of um, mental fortitude to just get through it. But in terms of like greatest lifetime achievement, no. And so I think Nicole's on here. I'm assuming she's the 8701 Nicole. If you're when I talked to Nicole today, my athlete. But it's more about when I think about lifetime achievements, and it's more about impact, like impact and what I want to look back on my life on and think I'm proud of that. Like finishing a marathon is for me, right? And yes, it can inspire other people, inspire my children, but it's really ultimately like an achievement for me. I would rather have my achievements be impact I've been able to make on others. So I think first and foremost, I think about, raising children. Like that's my greatest achievement, being a mom. Next is like, yeah, the impact that I can have on them. Being a teacher, which I'm going to talk about the impact when I really think about how many kids I impacted through all of those years of teaching. That's a really great achievement. Honestly, I haven't really spent a lot of time thinking about that. So going through this question was pretty cool. Just thinking about, do I know where those kids are now? No, but like knowing just I had a small part of providing a positive impact in their life is really important to me. Um, and now being able to have an impact on you guys and other runners' lives, and knowing that that is making their life improved and better and becoming a better person, and that that's having an impact on someone else. So I guess I really think about the domino effect of it all, that we all can be a part of, with um, inspiring others, being kind to others, whatever positive impact we can make on someone else, that makes a positive impact that we will never know or see. So that's what I really think about having greatest achievement. But what Nicole and I talked about today when I was talking around our call was that um, the marathon, though, teaches you what you're capable of. And Nicole, congrats to you. She just ran her first marathon on Saturday. She did so amazing. And that was one of the first things she said to me, was that she learned in that moment, crossing that finish line, there's nothing she can't do. And like, that's what I want people to realize. Like, it's not just about running. And it's not just about the marathon itself. It's about the training, right? What you learn that you can handle in training. And when you start training for a marathon, it seems insurmountable. No way. I've got 20 miles on my training plan. I will never be able to do that. And you see how your, body and mind can adapt week after week after week, that suddenly, or every week, right? Like, you're running more mileage at a time than you've ever run in your life. And that's where that, like, trusting, having faith, being brave comes in. Like, it's okay to have fear and be nervous. Like, I heard this quote the other day. It was something like, you can't be brave in the absence of fear. Like, they go together, right? And so you have to be able to confront that fear, push through that fear by being brave. And I think that just transfers over to so many other aspects of our life. So that's why I just really think the marathon is so awesome, and encourage people to try one. I think it teaches a lot about yourself. And if you don't like it, like, you don't have to keep doing it, right? And it's not necessarily for everyone. And obviously there's other things in life that can give you that same opportunity. But yeah, that's kind of my long answer to that question. So finish a marathon, greedy, running sub 4. That's not greedy. That's how the progression, that's what happens, right? Like, a lot of people think that they just want to finish a marathon, and then they do. And it's like, you get the bug, like the marathon bug, right? Like, and that's the cool part, is, again, because you're like, okay, I finished, and now what can I achieve? What can I get out of myself? You won't be the same. Yep. It's the truth. It literally changes you. Awesome. You guys are writing awesome comments. Patience, 100% true. Patience. Okay, so we're about a half hour in. So I'm going to go ahead and ask this trivia question. And some of those comments, perseverance, patience, that's definitely part of this. So the question is, so here's how I'm going to do this trivia question. Whether it ends up being that you guess right, or you know it because you watched enough of my videos, but it's going to be the first one who answers correctly. So I guess you got to be really fast at typing and listening as well. So this is for the sunglasses. You have to be here. You have to comment on the side here with your answer. And then, yeah. So here's the question. On my run today, I was like literally doing the math to make sure that I had this correct as well. So how many years between me running my first marathon and when I qualified for Boston the first time. So, how many years did it take me between running my first marathon and qualifying for Boston the first time? How long did it take me? I'll let everyone answer. I'll let everyone answer. Okay, and I'll say again, you have to have a US address. So, US address. All right, I'm going to wait for everyone to give an answer. And again, it's the first person who got it correct. Oh, womp womp Canada. I'm sorry, Carla, but I appreciate you being here. And thank you you wrote such a kind message to me the other day. Thank you for that. You're awesome. Okay. Someone has the right answer. Lots of answers. We have anywhere from 4. No, someone said 2. Someone 2 to 20. Okay. The people who wrote 20, you guys have probably watched enough of my videos to know that I've been running a very, very long time. All right. So here is the truth. I ran my first marathon was just like Joanne, was Long Beach. And that was in 2005. And then I qualified for Boston. I ran a marathon that year, did not qualify. I ran another one 8 weeks later. I think I was 3 minutes off. Ran another one 8 weeks later and qualified. And that was in 2018. So if you said 13, I think this was Short Stacks Runs. Short Stack Runs. Oh, I think you follow me on Instagram too. 13 Short Stack Runs. You're the winner. So Short Stack Runs, will you write your name for me? Woohoo! Write your name for me. And then if you can please either email me or if you do know how to get a hold of me on Instagram, that's fine too, with your information, just your address. And I will give you the link so you can pick out your up to $30 pair of sunglasses. Okay. All right. So let's talk about sorry, I got distracted. Did I do my math wrong? Someone said 14. No, 13 years. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, Michael. Yes, Nicole, the link for the sunglasses is going to be in the description. I tried to change the description beforehand. I don't know if it's there, but I will definitely make sure that they are it's there after the fact. Okay, so if you guys want to stick around, I'm going to talk a little bit about just kind of this journey. And if you guys have questions along the way, go ahead and put them in the comments. But so I was a teacher for 12 years. I taught 4th and 2nd grade, and I loved being a teacher until I didn't. And maybe some of you guys can relate to this in your own careers. And I had 3 kids, 3 very small children at the time. But in my last year of teaching, even the year before was kind of a really hard year. And at the time, I kind of chalked it up to like, I'm raising very tiny children. I just had a new baby. And I maybe think I just want to be home with them. But we had 3 kids in daycare. I won't go into all this stuff, but I wasn't working full time. I was basically working half time the last couple of years. And thought that that would be a good balance. But we were ultimately making, I was like bringing home hardly any money after we were sending our kids to um, 3 kids in daycare and all of that. So it was like, one thing, if you love your career and you love your job and ultimately you're barely making any money and bringing that home, okay, well, if you truly love it, then it doesn't matter, right? Like, daycare won't last forever and I will continue to teach, yada yada. But I wasn't loving it. I didn't feel supported at the time. um, and it was a type of situation where I just had a really kind of tough classroom situation, and kind of needed more support, and be a situation where I would try to be super positive in the morning, going to school every day, smile on my face, and like within a couple hours, it would be like I'd be completely drained. Situations happening in the classroom, and I would just kind of come home defeated every day. At the end of the day, feeling helpless, like um, I won't go into it, but just feeling like I couldn't really be there for all the students. Um, but even as hard as I was trying. And then I felt depleted, like with my own children at home. And it was just really, really a difficult time, even though I was really feeling like I was trying hard. And so in that time, I made the decision that that was going to be my last year of teaching. And it, I I was doing something else on the side at the time, knowing that this was probably coming, but that still needed some income, and that I really like working too, and having that, and it was education related. So if you are a teacher and you want to know about a good side thing, like, email me, I will let you know what it is. But no one else will care. But it was really good, and I did do that once I quit teaching. And then I was home, number one, home with my kids, something that I will never regret doing. But I was still looking for opportunities of ways to bring in income. Um, we were fine, but like just to live more comfortably, for one. And for two, to also feel like I was contributing monetarily, having something for myself career wise. And so that's kind of that transition. And um, I will just say, like, what's kind of crazy, you guys, is the amount of very kind, supportive messages that I've gotten from you guys, other viewers, in the last year, of how much I've helped them with their running. That appreciation has been so amazing. But I think I've gotten more like messages of true, what I would consider true, heartfelt, unsolicited um, support, and um, messages of thanks in the last year with this coaching that I maybe got in the entire time I was teaching. Um, and I don't know, it's just interesting to think about. I've been thinking about that lately, and not that people weren't thankful, but I do think with teachers in general, it's kind of like, okay, you send your kids off and this is the expectation because that's their job. And yes, you write thank you notes at Christmas time or teacher appreciation week, right? I definitely got those. That's not what I'm saying, but just completely out of the blue. So I honestly, I try to do those types of things. I could be better too. We just forget, we get busy. But I will just say, like, teachers are amazing people. They're working insanely hard, more than maybe you realize. And they care about children very much. And I think that was kind of part of it too, is that necessarily wasn't necessarily there. Um, and I think that appreciation in your, whatever your workplace is, right? Or whatever it might be, like, that is extremely important. Um, so anyways, so that's kind of that transition out of there, but there was also guilt involved with that, like, the impact that I had on other children, it was like wasn't there anymore. um and so getting into coaching was, I started this blog and really just wanted to have a separate income, source, as well as kind of just doing things on the sides. I was freelance writing, started my blog, and ultimately, with the running blog, that's when I kind of started to be like, I want to turn this into a business. I'm not really sure how that's going to happen, like making a full-time income or what that's going to look like, but let's just start taking the steps to do that. So I got certified to coach. And then in 2021, I was saying at the beginning, I joined this YouTube group, and we were all in different niches. Like, no one else was doing running, but we were supportive of each other because everyone was starting this journey like from scratch, and needed the support of each other. Like, I can't tell you how many times there were messages of each other, like saying, I want to give up. Please talk me off the ledge. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's so hard. No one's watching my videos. I'm bad at this. Imposter syndrome, like same things that come up with running. Comparing yourself to other people, like all those same things. And so 21, kind of what I was saying, it took that entire year to get any sort of traction whatsoever. So my message to you guys is, like, whether it's career wise or something else that you want to pursue, I don't know, like learning an instrument, learning a language, or whatever. Like, yeah, it sucks in the beginning, like when you're new. And that's what I think about with new runners who reach out to. It's like, yeah, it's really, really hard, and you don't see the progress as fast as you want to. But the truth of the matter is, like, if you keep that consistency and believe and keep going, like, you will get better with time. Like, you just have to keep going, right? And that's what I did. That's what I had to keep telling myself that, like, if I just keep doing this, it will work. And and during this time, I'm doing all this other freelance writing, managing all of these other kind of jobs. I had this contract role the last couple years that I really, really loved also. That was a good balance kind of between these things. But ultimately, this is what I wanted. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have my own business, like creating a full-time income, and doing something that I loved and impacting people. That's a huge part of it. Like, taking what I loved about teaching, because there was so much I loved about teaching too, and there's a lot I miss about it, but taking what I felt like I was good at with that and mattered to me and shifting it into coaching. And so that's kind of where that idea really stemmed from. That I didn't want it to just be a business, but how is it a business that's helping people? And so ultimately, I'm now at 5,000 subscribers. And this is kind of the big thing that I don't think people realize. And if you don't care about YouTube, you don't necessarily care or know about this, but like 5,000 subscribers is a very small number. I don't think people realize that you can have a full-time job with that kind of number. So if you're someone on here watching that you have a YouTube channel and it's small or whatever, like, keep going. And it's not just about those numbers. It's about really connecting with people, right? So ultimately, my goal was to connect with people, to coach them. And it was literally this, like, if you build it, they will come. I had to just keep telling myself that it was going to work. Like, talk about faith. And little by little, like, through this entire year, it was slow at the beginning, but over the summer, I started to really see that momentum. And then if you guys watched the other live that I did, I talked about this, how I quit my contract job that was part-time, but it was very consistent, right? Like, consistent income. And so I basically said, okay, like, I waited till the right time. I waited till I made a certain amount of money to feel like, yes, this is time to be done with that and go into this full time. And my goal, kind of initial goal, when I think full time, everyone's idea of full time income is different, right? Depends on where you live, how you want to live your life, all those things. So my big thing is, like, making more money than I did as a teacher, because like for a long time I thought I was going to go back and be a teacher again. I just needed, I thought I just needed a few years at home, with my kids, everything. Um, and so that's where I'm at now. And that's an extremely big deal to me, to feel like, yes, this is actually a true career, a true full-time income that I would be making if I was a teacher. Um, and going forward with that. And obviously there's a lot more goals that I have for the business and reaching people and all of those things. But I think it just comes back to the fact of like the YouTube channel. Like I thought you have to have this huge, huge following or subscribers. And it really comes down to, having value that you provide and making that connection with people. Now, for you, YouTube may not be a part of anything that you want to do, most of you probably. But I think I just would encourage people to know that you have what it takes, that you are capable, whatever you want to do. Like, don't give up on that. Just keep going. And it'll happen for you. Like, yeah, it's really hard, but if you're willing to kind of push through that, in a lot of circumstances, most people will give up in those situations, and you won't. Um, and well, it's okay that you're late, Sal. I'm glad you're here. Um, so anyways, that's just kind of where I am at. I just wanted to share that because I don't know, I just hope it helps someone. And I always think about this and don't share it because obviously this is a running platform. But I think just reminding yourself that you have value, you can provide value. Um, you are capable of learning something beyond what maybe you think that you could. And this is what for a couple years after, I literally would say to myself, like, you don't know how to do anything but teach kids. That's all you know how to do. I mean, this over and over in my head, like, who will hire you? So I'm like thinking, well, what if I don't want to be a teacher? Then who will hire me? I don't have any other skills. And I think some people can probably really relate to that. And it's like, that isn't true. And especially when you think about being a teacher and all the skills that you need for that, right? And so just be positive with yourself in what you think that you can do and you can achieve. And yeah. So I will kind of wrap it there. But if you guys have questions, let me look through here and see if anyone said anything. But if you guys have any questions kind of about that or just the marathon journey, we can spend a few more minutes going over that. And oh, yeah, very good question. Marcus, thank you. Any advice on those interested in coaching someday? I hear about all these different run coach certification that it gets confusing. Yes. So I did RRCA certification number 1. That is the only one that I currently have. I've looked into getting the second certification, which for that one, you are supposed to have coached a certain amount of individuals or for a certain amount of time or something, like, which I've definitely done at this point, but need to look into that. I would honestly recommend RRCA. You'll hear people say like, oh, you don't need to, like, I mean, you're not required to have, it's not like a dietitian, like you're not required to have a certification to become a running coach, but obviously it's important in terms of showing people that you have the knowledge. And I do think I've learned just as much from reading books and podcasts, well, probably way, way more, honestly, than taking this course. So for me, it's very much about continuing to learn, improving at what I do and the coaching that I provide. And that's continuing to read a lot, listen to podcasts, and yeah, there's so much good information out there. But I do think RRCA is a great foundation. They teach just kind of the research driven principles of how to make the most progress as a runner, which is obviously important as a coach that you know how to do that, right? And then in terms of coaching, like it's it's so much more than, and I think that that's why I love it so much. It's far more than I ever thought it would be in terms of connecting to each individual one on one, knowing just how they operate as a person, um, you know, what, yeah, and just honestly, just what they're going through in life as well. Like as adults, like life is really hard, and we're all going and through hard stuff, navigating different things in our lives. And between work and family, that basically takes up most of our time, right? And running is something important to them that they have a big goal on. But it's so much more than just prescribing different runs to them. And that's another way I yeah, just recommend coaching, because it's hard to continue on like with a marathon training plan sometimes when you're really got all this stuff other going on. It keeps you on track, or you can get the accountability or the motivation that you need to continue with it. So hopefully that answers your question, Marcus. But there's very much room for everyone. The virtual running space is quite large. And yeah, if it's kind of like, if I'm not the coach for you, if I don't have room right now or whatever it might be, like there are plenty of others, that it's about, I think, finding who you connect with and that right fit. That's really important. So oh, my run club loves your videos. Thank you so much. The poster on the back wall, Chris, it is from the Bible. Corinthians, if I'm not going to read the whole thing, 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. It starts with love is patient, love is kind. So yeah. You're welcome for the inspiration. All right. I think we're going to wrap this up. So I will say again, for the giveaway, obviously I already did the sunglasses and I saw her info come through. And so for the Shocks headphones, what you guys need to do is put a comment on, not on the top chat, not on the chat here, but like just in the, like you would a regular YouTube video. Put a comment in there. It can be any comment, but I said a question you can answer is what goal you have for 2023, whether that is a running related goal or it could be any goal. It doesn't matter. And then once I end this right now, I'm going to make the link and put that in. So once the link is there, it's not going to be there immediately. Replay will come up, but it should be, I'm going to make it like immediately. So hopefully in the next 20 minutes or something, the link will be there. And then you need to go to the link and provide your email address, and then you will be entered. So within 24 hours of me posting that, so I will write the time, what that is tomorrow when it ends, so that anyone watching this replay can enter. Have to be US address. And if there's any other rules that I'm forgetting, I will make sure that those are along there in the description. So any last questions? I'll wait and see if anyone has anything else about that. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for the kind words. And I'm happy to know that the information that I can provide makes an impact. And when I think about my first couple marathon experiences and how difficult they were, I think about how if I wouldn't have gone through that, I wouldn't know what the pain points really are that you guys experience, training for a first marathon. So I think that's kind of what drives the content initially, having those experiences. So that's why I talk about with runners too. Sometimes it's like, sometimes you need those tough learning lessons to really get through to yourself. I think that's pretty normal. So Thank you, Melissa. I actually was going to talk a little bit about Houston. I'll try to put out a video here shortly. We'll see about how my training's going, but I'll just say it's going really well. I think I mentioned that in a recent video too, of just like having a coach for myself has been a huge game changer. Last year, coaching myself was great. This year, kind of felt like I needed a little bit more, a little bit more. So it's been really, really good. I had COVID. That was a big setback. That was at the beginning of November, but I was feeling pretty good not too long after that. Took 5 days off of running and got back to it, luckily. So grateful for that. And yeah, things are going well. So my husband's running the half. So we're excited. Oh, thanks, Shane. I'm glad I took the leap of faith too. I think I said this at the beginning, but I really do have these pinch me moments like this is what I do for a job. And like if you would have asked me 5 years ago if this or what I would be doing 5 years from now, from back then to now, right? This wouldn't have been it. And so I think that's what's the really cool thing about life too, is like just being open to what's possible. Don't forget the help me pack video. Okay, Shane, hopefully the help me pack video will be really simple because the weather will be amazing. That's what I'm crossing my fingers for. All right, guys, happy holidays, and I will see you later on the channel. Good luck for the giveaway. Bye, guys.